Hello and welcome to the video review of the main event of version 3.8. As always, camera is getting small, you're gonna be looking at some background footage. Although do pay some attention, I will include some clips, but I will inform you when these clips are added. But, making the camera small so that I can read off the script and you can't notice. Well then, let's begin. Since this is the last version of a nation, we get ourselves a new limited time area to play around, so this video might be a bit longer than if we just reviewed a normal main event. We're going to go through the story, well, we're just gonna review the story mostly. We're gonna more deeply go through the minigames and, of course, the area itself. So strap on and let's get started. Let's get on with the story first, quickly. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't care much about this story. Basically, I hate every single character in this story except for Kaeya. And even here, his role was mostly babysitting Klee. But I did like the part where he scolds the NPCs and tells them to stop fighting, else he will break their knees. But this story had so much filler dialogue. Seriously, I couldn't stand it. It's just so much unnecessary dialogue that made this story drag out far more than it should have. And really, that's it. Like, compared to the other limited area stories, this probably ranks worse than all of them. I prefer the first Grand Double Archipelago the most, and for the second Grand Double Archipelago, while it was just an absolute copy of Persona 4, it at least was better and a bit more interesting than this one. There was like a better mystery setting there, and especially in the first Grand Apple Archipelago, this one just felt like a fucking kid's story, to be honest, and even worse. And again, the tons and tons of just dialogue, random dialogue, filler dialogue, repeating the same goddamn bullshit again and again, pained me so much. I just constantly pressed the skip button. Like, it was painful, man. Please. And again, because the characters in the story are characters that I genuinely hate, it doesn't help. And the NPCs were fucking horrendous. And the same goddamn NPC models with blue hair, of course, and constantly reusing the same animations again and again and again and again and again. It makes just storytelling in this game it has reached the point where the storytelling is a fucking garbage because of the reused animations and the models. Like, come on. So with the story out of the way, let's get to the different sub areas that unlocked as the story progressed. So starting off with the first sub area that was unlocked, generally it was okay, but I do have some notes here. First is that the cart is incredibly slow, and legit you can make a sandwich while you're riding some of the tracks. I also don't understand the need to open the tracks with the flowers. It just forces you to have to follow the path the game wants you to go towards instead of freely exploring and opening these tracks. It's just, again, just hand holding you. Well, not exactly hand holding you, but again, forcing you, dragging you to go that specific way. You will explore that specific way. That's where you will unlock the track, right? And then there are the stops where there are two flowers next to each other, and these are just completely unnecessary because you don't need to do anything special to unlock the next flower and progress. You just go there, and when you get off the cart, it just unlocks, right? And if you pass again, you don't stop, you just continue forward. So what is the point, right? The stops don't have anything many of the times, like literally nothing. You're just gonna go hop on the cart again and just continue. So what's the point of the stops, right? Of the two flowers, and then you can't you need it's just, it really destroys my mind, man. Like, these design decisions are just so bad. Another thing is that I believe, accidentally skipped over the cart's attacks tutorial, and I was a bit confused when it wasn't explained anywhere. I hope I just skipped it because there was a tutorial in the menu, like in the events menu, you can find the tutorials. But I do also believe it actually is never explained. Like, when the tutorials came up for the card, I did not skip them. I read them because I wanted to learn how the card works. I never noticed the tutorial for the attacks. So they fucked up somewhere? I don't know. Hopefully that's not the case. Again, I just somehow accidentally skipped them. Else, good job, gotta say. For some reason as well, some of the card's tutorials are on signs, but some of them appear automatically while riding the cart. And here I ask, why the fuck is there this inconsistency? Why don't all the tutorials show up while riding the cart? Where else would you want to learn about what the fuck the cart does? While riding it, of course, right before a mechanic appears, show the pop-up, goddammit! There's no reason for these dumb signs. Right, like what is the purpose of putting them on the signs? But the biggest note, the biggest note for this area has to do with the different tracks you can access through a hub. You can see it on the left, right? I seriously cannot fathom this, but one of the tracks has a completely different color than the flower that represents it. Why? All of the other tracks are fine, and it's nice that they are color-coded in the map, but why does the one that goes to the desert, why is it completely off from the flower on the hub? Who made this decision? And the funny thing is, on the minimap, the flower is correct, but the track itself is not. Well, every other one is correct. Like, and it pisses me off so much, as you can see. Like, why? Why? Like, genuinely, why? Why? For this, and that's the first area. Get away. For the second sub area, well, it was much worse. Starting with that, it is much smaller compared to the other sub areas. And then in the quest, the main quest where you enter the tent, there are like many props and boxes and other things that are laying around. And you think you should be able to climb them without a problem, just, vaulting on them and, they're just lying around. There shouldn't be any, they're most likely, the most likely, there wasn't anything on them. But like just climbing them to look at the area or get an angle or something where to go and stuff, right? You think that you should be able to easily climb them. There shouldn't be any problem. But for some reason, they made them unclimbable. And I managed to almost soft lock myself in between them, in between some boxes, while trying to get a view of the place. In order to look at my, where to go and stuff. You should be able to see the clip of that right now. There is no reason. They're not... Good collision. So I'm trying to find these gems. Is this a gem? Does this count as a gem? Can I please... Oh, I'm stuck. Here we see the good collision. Can I even get out? Am I stuck? I didn't even... I'm stuck. And now I got shotted out. Oh, wow. Why aren't these climbable? Why are these randomly not climbable? They're boxes. They're perfectly fine boxes. And yeah, like, it's insane. Like, why? And relating to the quest, after you exit the tent, you will find the Hydro Eidolon you saved, which was magically stuck in between the curtains. I don't know how the fuck that works. But like you interact with it and it moves and it goes to a luxurious chest nearby. And then after you do that, a cutscene plays showing the shield surrounding the chest break a bit. And then it shows an overview shot of the tent with a light changing. Now tell me, when you saw that, what information do you gather from that cutscene? Like, what information did you gather from this cutscene? For me, as a normal game should, it shows me that I must interact with something in this area that I was shown because something has changed because of my interaction with the Eidolon. But nope, the cutscene is completely useless. It has nothing to do with opening the chest. Because in order to open the chest, you need to go to 2 other puzzles within the second sub-area to find 2 other Eidolons to break the shield. Like, you do puzzles, you find Eidolons, they teleport to the chest, and the shield breaks more. And when you do the last one, it opens. And they also show the cutscene again after you free each eidolon, which is fine because then you already know what the fuck you're doing, right? But why does it show it in the first eidolon? Right? Why didn't they just show these other areas in a cutscene to guide you? You know, like the first eidolon goes there, you see the shield breaking, and then fade to black into the other puzzles. You don't know where these puzzles are necessarily, but you're guided to find this puzzle in the area to continue. This is worse than games from the PlayStation 1 and 2 era. It's like fucking basic game design. Like, how the fuck can you fuck it up? Like, it's insane, isn't it? Right, the overview shot of the tent is completely useless. I think at some point when you finish it, when you finish opening the chest, I think Paimon says that the different colored lights look awesome, but as far as I can tell, they're the same color. Wait, what do you mean multicolored? They're the same color. What do you mean multicolored lights? Where do you see the multicolored lights? What? I'm not fucking colorblind, right? Multicolored? Weren't they more multicolored before? I don't remember exactly that, but I'm like, what is this cutscene? What is it supposed to show? Like, yes, your interaction with the Eidolons changed the lights, but what does that have to do with completing the chest puzzle, right? Like, it's dumb. Dumb as fuck. Completely dumb. And then after this, this goes for all the tutorials in the game, to be honest. But this really, like, this area really shows it. There are so many dumb terms in the tutorials that makes understanding them 100% harder than they should be. In this sub area, there is like a tutorial for these colored mirrors and how bringing a gem, like you need to bring a gem into these mirrors. But if you bring a gem through a colored light, a different colored light, the gem will disappear and reappear, like it will respawn. But for some mihoyo reason, they decided to just use stupid terms to describe the gem disappearing and all the other bullshit. Oh my god. And again, this happens for almost every tutorial in this area, limited area, with a big example. The bubbles or like the things you need to collect on the cart, like you ride the cart and you need to like shoot or like crash into like these bubble things, and then you pass through a ring to make a track appear. They used literally the like dumb as fuck terms there. Like, it's so bad, so bad. After the cart uses something. What? After the cart uses waves or its own body to crash into and break fruits, you will obtain stones. A cart can carry a max of 3 stones. Okay. When you pass through a ring, new tracks and something will appear. My goodness. And additionally, there is so much empty space in this sub area. Like, the entire top left is completely empty. Not even any ore spots or whatever. Like, there's like a Sumeru rose or a sweet flower. But like, it's completely empty. The hills above are completely empty. No chests, no challenges. Again, not even an ore spot, no nothing there. Investigate spot, I don't fucking know, nothing. Crystal flies, nope, nothing. Empty area, completely empty. Like, what the fuck, man? Why leave so much empty space in? Like, yeah, is there an underground cave? Sure, fucking block it or something. Like, you just fill it up. Like, if you're gonna create a top space in order to create an underground space, fill the top space up as well. And with that, let's move on to the last sub area, where it was okay. It was okay like the first one, but also felt really small. I think that the second and third areas combined are around the first one's size, so they feel very small compared to it. Comments on this sub area, though, are that for an event centered decently, on theater and acting, there weren't many side quests or like puzzles that included that. That included theater and acting. Comparing that to second Grand Apple Archipelago, the mysteries you had to solve with the Raven statues. I know people hated that. but it mostly was because of Mihoyo's dialogue and how slow they were. But it was a nice puzzle, right? Figuring out the stuff. You need to pay attention at least, right? Or the play that you had to control, right? You had to control a play with the ravens and like move them correctly and stuff. Like this is such a massive downgrade. Such a massive downgrade. There were some chests where you had to take photos of a scene from a play or something, but they boiled down to just timing the photo correctly or bring an item to a specific spot and just take the photo. So it was like, it wasn't really anything. Other than that, this sub area has one of the worst side quests I have experienced in my life in a video game. Genuinely. Actually, in the first area, you encountered a similar thing, but this quest makes it even worse. There is a side quest, well, where you're listening to speakers that exist throughout the area in order to do something. It's cute, but the quest is not voiced at all. I mean, not surprising since this is a side quest, you know, but they are speakers. Like, it makes no sense and completely breaks immersion. There are times where the camera shakes to try and show like increased volume, somebody yelling or a character or something, but without any sound, it looks incredibly bad. This quest also goes on forever with tons and tons of dumb dialogue, and you just cannot be immersed into it because there's no audio. Legit, there is a super slow segment with the cart where I legit stood up and went AFK on stream because it was so slow, and the lack of audio completely bored me to death. Gameplay. If it tells me to do something, I guess it's real. Are we done? Like, where's the excitement? This thing is bog-ass slow. Slower than a fucking snail. And then there's no voices. It's not it's not cool, it's not hype, it's nothing. Will I have to do something now? Or not? My gut feeling is no. It's no. Bye-bye. It's so slow. I'm running out of snacks. Ooh. Ice cream. We're still not done. We're still not done? Riveting gameplay. Riveting. You just, again, you cannot get immersed into the quest because of the lack of audio. It's a fucking speaker! Like, and in the first area, as I mentioned, there is a speaker as well that makes an announcement for an unlocked area or something. But because there's no audio and the subtitles disappeared before I got to read them, I didn't understand what was told to me. I completely missed the information. I don't know what was told there. Generally, I don't. I think it had to do with the side quest that there is in the first sub area, but I don't know if that was it. Because again, no audio, the subtitles just disappeared really quickly. I'm fucked. I was fucked. Yeah, yeah. Like overall, the limited area, in my opinion, is fine, but it's worse than the first Grand Apple Archipelago for sure. While it's okay compared to the second Grand Apple Archipelago. My biggest gripe is that it's just Sumeru again. Like at least the islands felt unique compared to other to the nations we normally have in the game, like their scenery. But this time it's just the same Sumeru assets, just in order to quickly get this off their workload, right? Which would have been fine had we not received three desert areas in a row. I wanted to see more forest in normal Sumeru, not limited time area Sumeru. Right. That's why I'm so pissed at this. I also completed it incredibly quickly, but that is mostly because of the size of the area and the fact that they give you a treasure compass really early in order to help find the chest, which is good, don't get me wrong, but it also makes exploring really short on playtime, right? Also, there weren't any good mechanics to the puzzles. Most of the time, you just follow the Hydro Eidolon, and there's the chest. Defeat three enemies, there's a chest. Or if there was a puzzle, the interacting with the Hydro Eidolon just straight up gave you the solution to, let's say, an elemental totem puzzle, right? And it just didn't feel nice to solve these puzzles, right? It's just not good. And I guess we can check out the mini games offered in this event. I know that they aren't the main focus of the event, but that doesn't mean they suck. That they can suck, right? So what do we have? Well, let's start with the fact that I absolutely hate that we need to talk to NPCs to unlock the mini games. Like, it's three paragraphs of unneeded dialogue that doesn't matter in the slightest, and it seems like it's gonna be the norm going forward. I fucking hate this. First minigame, then, is the cannon minigame. It's okay. It's okay. No, not many problems there. But in the tutorial that pops up after talking to the NPC, they tell you that if you want to learn more details about the different kinds of balloons and targets you will get, you should check them out in the stage details, which is fine. But then they go and pop up a tutorial when you enter the stage. Anyways, like, why? You told me to go look at the stage details, and I did that because the game told me that, only to then start the stage, there's a pop-up tutorial telling me exactly what the stage details say. Why the fuck? Just don't include the part where it says, look at the stage details for more info. You're gonna pop it up anyways. There's so much filler stuff. An entertainment device that was inspired by the Spino Crocodile. I don't need that information. Because this is a gameplay tutorial. It can fire hydro bullets that are safe and for entertainment use only. I don't need that fucking information. When the cannon fires, it will use reserve ammunition, which will take a fixed amount of time to automatically reload once it is depleted. That is so badly said. You can also engage in manual reloading at appropriate moments during the game. In the settings menu. There are many kinds of target balls. I don't need to know all of the fucking names. You can view the various unique effects of these balls in the stage specifics. You're not gonna tell me. Jesus. Hitting balls successively within a fixed amount will build your combo. Maintaining a high combo. No shit. Do I need to talk to this asshole? Of course. Half of the mini games you need to talk to the guy, but half of them you don't. How do I see the ball? Oh no, destroy. Mm-hmm. Jesus. And why are they named so fucking? Mm-hmm. Wait. You can't write this shit. You just can't. Excuse me. You told me in the first tutorial that if I wanted to learn about these balls, I should check them in the stage details. And now you're just gonna tell them to me anyways. Man, holy shit, this is bad. After that, there is a mini golf curling game with finches. It's okay, but it's incredibly short and basic. They try to bring some fun through different finches, but because of the very limited amount of stages, plus the fact that there aren't that many or complicated obstacles in the stages, you end up finishing them in less than a minute, and the mechanics of the finches go wasted, right? Plus, I hate the fact that I cannot control the direction that the finch will fire towards. Why the fuck does it move automatically? It doesn't make it harder. It's just annoying. And next up is a combat minigame, which is massively boring because of the insta-kill spotlight mechanic it has, as well as that it's not even time-based with a high score to accumulate. You just need to kill an amount of enemies with and without the spotlight, and it ends really quickly, especially if you bring in an MOCC like Venti Kazka. Like, you just move around, things die, and like 50 enemies in, boom, dead. Game ends. Why isn't it like 1.5 minutes of like accumulating a nice high score? Why does the cannon get to be a high score thing, but not this? Again, I brought Venti in every stage, stood still, boom. It insta kill spotlight kills all the enemies. I'm just standing there waiting 30 seconds for everything to end. So boring. And finally, the last minigame is literally Sorus from the last desert area, and that is all I will say. All I will say on this. And those are the minigames. They are mostly very boring and garbage. As I said, even if these aren't the main focus of the event, that doesn't mean that they need to be boring, uninspired, and completed in less than a minute by the player. That's all for this event. Overall, it ranks at the bottom of the limited area events, as its story is not much to brag about. The area looks exactly like Sumeru. It's small, has no interesting side quests, and the minigames suck. While I appreciate the treasure gadget, it is a nice quality of life compared to other to the Grand Apple archipelagos. It makes the small area feel even smaller since you barely do any free explorations to figure out things yourself. You know, that's something nice to have. Yes, it's a limited area. I know people are like, I only play 2 minutes of Genshin because I work 23.87. You know, like, come on, man. Like, yes, it's nice, but it should be given later. Like, at least maybe give it at the end of the story, to be honest. Right, so that you can explore freely if you wish. Yes, you can do that now without using the gadget, but I mean, that doesn't really fix the small area, the really simple puzzles and stuff. Like, there's more issues to the gadget, right? As I said, it's nice to have the gadget, but it makes the small area feel even smaller, and because the puzzles are not interesting, you just go really quickly through them and you're done. You know, it would be nice to have the gadget in the Grand Double Archipelago. That's all. Because the Grand Double Archipelago is big, it's a bit more complicated as well. Like, it's much better. uh, and that's that. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like, sub to the channel to help it out. Follow me on Twitch for daily Genshin stream and other stuff. The footage you see in the background was recorded from the stream. This segment, like this commentary on top, was also recorded on stream. The script was written. We do lots and lots of things on stream, and you can interact you can interact through the chat, of course, and lots of stuff. And if you wish, follow me on Twitter. I post some random stuff, some fun stuff. You wanna have me limit your daily posts, then you can have me there. That's that. Hope to see you in another video. Goodbye.